welcome back to On the Volley. As you can see, I'm not outside the Finnegan's pub today. I've decided to give it a little bit of a rest. Yeah, maybe I was drinking a tad too much. Need to lose some of this for the summer. So I'm here basically just outside where I live basically. Still in Rome obviously, yeah. But I just want to talk about Celtic today, yeah. I'm not going to cover too much of the game. We beat Aberdeen 4-0. Great performance. In the first half, we could have scored, what, 4, 5, 6, 7 goals, okay? I think that we are starting to fire on all cylinders now. I didn't feel that we were in the last few games that we played, even though we've been winning. I still think we need to be a little bit more clinical, and I suppose that sounds a little bit stupid as a comment, you know, when we're winning games 4-0. But when you think about it, it's not that stupid because, yeah, we're winning games 4-0. But it could be 6, 7, 8, 9-0 against Aberdeen. If you looked at the first half, we all thought it was going to end up being a cricket score. That said, Aberdeen's substitution, okay, was taking a striker off and putting a defender on, you know, so it's a little bit difficult when you're playing against, you know, 11 players behind the ball, yeah. I mean, talk about park the bus, yeah. But look, don't get me wrong, I'm not having a go just at Aberdeen. I do feel sorry for their fans though, because, you know, they paid their good money to go and watch a game of football. Parking the bus isn't football, I'm sorry. I understand that maybe they're concerned about, you know, letting in too many goals, being beaten by a margin of 7, 8, 9-0. I can understand that. But I still believe that, you know, as an Aberdeen fan or a Hearts fan or a Partick Thistle fan or any of the Scottish teams, I'm pretty sure they'd much rather that their team loses by a bigger margin than 4-0, but they attempt to play football. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, I couldn't go and watch a game. I couldn't watch a team if all they do is defend, okay? And you end up losing 4-0 anyway. That's just my opinion, obviously, yeah. I mean, I don't know what the Aberdeen fans think. My mate, Lingo, he's Aberdeen. Feel sorry for the guy. He's obviously suffering at the moment. But it also makes it hard for me to defend the Scottish League, because at the end of the day, you know, I've heard it all, you know, from the English supporters who support teams in the Premier League, okay, and they call the Scottish League the Farmers' League, and I think that's very unfair to Celtic, because, you know, Celtic go out to play football. They showed that and they proved that in Europe last season. We don't park the bus, okay? Yeah, in Europe we wasn't clinical. The only criticism that I could give of this Celtic team, and I think criticism's a harsh word, yeah, because I can't really criticize them. I just think they need to be more clinical. If they were more clinical, they'd be scoring a hell of a lot more goals. Now, that said, we've scored 86 goals already this season, yeah? So it's like, you know, what am I expecting, you'd be asking? I expect more. But I expect more because I know we can give more. I wouldn't be expecting more if I thought we'd reached our limit, okay? Yeah, and everyone's got a limit, I suppose. It just depends on how high that limit is. You know, some of the other Celtic YouTube channels have already spoke about the fact that we're going to go way over 100 goals this season. Yep, completely agree with that. And I think someone, I think it was Celtic Fans TV, they said that the record in a season is 106 goals scored by Celtic. So, I mean, I haven't double-checked that, I haven't fact-checked it, but I trust them. They know their stuff. They know their stuff much better than I do. So, you know, I'll go with that. And I also believe that we'll smash that record. We will smash that record. It's a shame because I predicted that we were going to go this season unbeaten, but we lost to St Mirren. Hey, a blip, you know, it was a blip, so that's it. I also predicted that we'll do a clean sweep of the trophies, and I believe we will. So, look, the whole team played well, but what a standout performance from Rio Hatate. And they've said it on the other channels as well. I mean, everyone I spoke to in the pub when we watched the game, okay, it was just Rio, Rio, Rio. That man is on fire. And he's improving every day. I mean, if you look at when he came in to now, he is starting to become the complete player. You know, it's going to be very difficult at the end of the season to choose the player of the season, because you have so many contenders out there. You've got Carl Vickers, you've got McGregor, you've got Greg Taylor, you've got Hatate. I'd throw Dazen Maida into the equation as well. And you're talking about a Dazen Maida who had a quiet game, but he's been on fire. He has been on fire. And the boy scores goals. He scores goals. So, you know, and he's not a striker. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a bonus. Look, I've said it before. This team can score goals from all over the place. I expect the centre-backs to contribute with a few more goals. I think they can. But overall, you know, what a performance from the boys. What a performance. And we're still, I believe, we're still not firing on all cylinders. Now, Ange has only been there, 18 months? Okay, right? This is like his second season. You know, 2 trophies already. Not a bad run in Europe. But he's forever improving the team. It's just constantly evolving and improving. Now, when I became a Celtic supporter, as you all know, I've been a Celtic supporter for the last 2 seasons. You know, don't deny that. Have fallen in love with the team and everything to do with Celtic. And I think, you know, that has come across to the people I've met and the people that watch this channel. So basically, when I did start supporting them, you know, I was talking to a few of my Celtic boys, and a lot was said about the board. The Celtic fan base, how it came across to me, were not happy with the board, yeah? And the reason for that was because of, obviously, you know, their transfer signings in the past have been last minute, you know, just to appease the fans, so on and so forth. That's the feedback that I was getting. You know, and I didn't want to make any judgments, okay, because basically my answer was, look, I'll judge them based on what they're doing, okay, what they're doing now, so to speak, yeah? And you've got to give it to them. Their transfer policy, okay, getting people in early, okay, it's just been excellent. I mean, if you look at these last 2 seasons and their transfers, the board have been very supportive of Ange. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's the board that's done all that. I'll tell you who I think it is. It's Ange. Listen, I said this when I did one of my first videos on Celtic. It was titled, Who is Ange Postecoglou? And I said, listen, Ange has come in, and Ange is a type of person, manager. I call him Ange is my way or the highway, Postecoglou. Because that guy, he knows what he wants. And if he's coming in and he has to do a job, he obviously had a conversation with the board before he signed. He obviously must have said, listen, okay, I'll come in, I want to take this job, but this is what I expect from you. And they're giving it to him. They're giving him everything he wants. We are so bloody lucky to have a manager like Ange, yeah? long may it last. That's all I've got to say. So, you know, hats off to Ange, hats off to the board, and hats off to his back room team as well. Yeah, Ange's backroom team. There was a lot of things spoken about them. I was told that, you know, they weren't good enough, so on and so forth. They've been there for years. Well, they seem good enough to me. They seem more than good enough, because let's not forget, Ange came in and he didn't have a backroom staff, yeah? Now, the only person he's brought in, if I'm not mistaken, is Harry Kewell, and they brought in that, what you call it, the science, medical, sports, fitness guru. Can't remember his name, yeah? So they're the two people that have come in as part of the backroom staff, yeah, from Ange. Now, is Harry Kewell being groomed to be the manager in the future? Is he going to be Ange's successor? Because, make no mistakes about it, I've said this before, Ange stays at a club an average of 3 years, yeah? So he may stay 3 years with us, he may stay 4, but sooner or later he is going to leave. He's going to leave not because he doesn't love Celtic or he'll be fed up or whatever. He's going to leave because Ange always loves a new challenge. And let's be honest about it, okay, right? He's already been touted with Premier League teams, you know, Brighton, Leeds, who is it, Southampton, Everton, whatever, yeah? Every time a manager gets sacked, Ange's name crops up. Ange isn't going to leave the team halfway through the season, and I think he'll be here for us next season as well. I think the only way Ange would leave Celtic would be to go to a club like Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, Arsenal. I don't even think he'd go to them lot down the road. Spurs, yeah, the English, them lot down the road, you know what I mean? I don't even think he'd go there, to be totally honest, but hey, who knows? That's still, I believe, a long way to come yet. I really hope so. Now, a few of the people on the YouTube channel, yeah, the ones that I mentioned before, yeah, you know, 67 How, Ryan 118 and Celtic Fans TV, okay, big up to those people. They do an excellent job. If you haven't watched their channel yet, you should watch it. I've never met them. I don't know them. So me, you know, giving them a shout out is because I watch them religiously, okay, and I think they're great. I think they've got great content. Way better than me. That goes without saying, yeah. But, you know, that said, they were talking about, you know, Rio Hatate. I think this was on Celtic Fans TV, where they were saying that, you know, enjoy him while we've got him. I've said this in the past, yeah. People are going to come, okay, the Premier League teams are going to come knocking on Celtic's door for players like Rio Hatate, Dazen Maida, Kyogo, Jota, you know, they're already talking about Matt O'Reilly, okay. We are going to be overwhelmed with, you know, teams coming to take our players. Now, on one side, that's a bad thing, okay, right? Because we need to have a succession plan and know who we're getting in to replace whoever we do let go, and I'm pretty sure Ange is on that. But it's also credit, okay, to Celtic. It enhances, okay, I won't say the Scottish League's credibility, because at the end of the day, this is Celtic, yeah? Okay, so basically, Celtic is going to be enhancing the Scottish League's credibility, because, and it's not like they haven't done in the past, yeah? So, yeah, we are going to lose these players in the near future. I'm pretty confident, though, that, you know, a succession plan is in place, as has been so far, and we've seen it. So, you know, I'm looking forward to the final on Sunday. Personally, I think we're going to win that game. Yeah, I'm not worried in the slightest. I know Michael Beale has had a lot to say. Yeah, you know what? I don't listen to him. I've just like, seen it, written it, read it where it was written, so on and so forth. Yeah, but you know what? Ange doesn't listen to what anyone says. I don't listen to what anyone says. Let's just go out there on Sunday and beat them. That's it. Me, Shah. I'm out.